academia cold. Dark skin, light skin, medium tones. Pumping braids got mini afros. Thick lips got hips, some of us don't.
So this is episode 1. Oh my goodness, I'm super excited to ride this wave with this podcast. I love talking. Anyway, so let's just hop right into it. I know you may not know a lot about me, so this first episode we're getting into some background about me and also a little bit about how I got my first gray hair in grad school. Yes, gray hair before the tender age of 25, okay? Now anyway, before I start talking about how I became a silver fox in the span of 1 year, let me tell you a little bit about my background. So I went to Hampton University, the illustrious Hampton University, thank you, where I double majored in sociology and economics. I did a study abroad program where I was able to study in London for the semester. Loved living the posh London life, honey. I was in Kensington. It was the life, okay? That's all I have to say. But it was definitely a wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful I had it. But honestly, nothing could have prepared me for the challenges and experiences that I would endure as a grad student. And it's more mentally and emotionally draining than anything, to be very honest with you. And it's just about, consistently not feeling worthy or never ever being done anything. Like literally that is the hardest thing about grad school to me, is just everything is always going to need a consistent correction, consistent back and forth. You can never feel completed, in your work. So that's kind of how I feel. And then also, y'all know imposter syndrome. Of course, imposter syndrome. Like, they try to tell you to ignore it, but these spaces are literally not meant for us to be here, and it's going to make you feel that way. It is not a system designed for us. It's very simple, very simply put, and there are not a lot of Black women and Black men in power and positions of power to really make the changes that are actually important and necessary for us. So that kind of drives my decision to, want to be a part of academia. Initially, I came here like anti-academia, anti-professor, definitely. So now we're just gonna hop right into our little summer recap. So this summer I did nothing major. I worked outside of academia for a little bit, and just spent a lot of time with my friends and family, and worked on my master's thesis in between all of that. So I have no regrets about this summer. I think it was important for me to see what it's like to spend time at home and to find that balance for me, and to understand what that balance might look like for me in the summer. So that's something you can also consider. It felt like, my life was on pause this entire summer, and like I couldn't really work on anything until I was back home. But to kind of combat some of that, I just dedicated a few hours each day to working on my master's thesis, and that's how I was able to push it along in spite of, sometimes not really wanting to work, because I'm at home, I'm with my friends, I'm with my family, and it feels like I should be giving my time to them because I'm not always home. And so I definitely felt that pressure, and I just, you have to find ways to adjust to that. And it's all a learning process. You gotta learn through all of that. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight, and so I know now. But currently, I am in the master's thesis stage, getting over the master's thesis proposal hump. So I can get right in there and I can tell y'all all about that process, because everything in academia is a serious process. Like, so many checks and balances. The king and the queen must read your thesis before you can be granted your master's. But that's just a part of it, and this is what I signed up for, so I'm here. So we gonna do it. But anyway, with that being said, I realize now that everything that I've learned, needs to be turned up to the 5,000th intensity. everything, the intensity of everything that I've done up until this point needs to go up, And so I think I talked a little bit earlier about, not feeling like I was prepared for what I am enduring now. But it's like, thinking back now, it's like every little lesson was preparing me. Every little lesson was a little token, was a little thing to help me prepare for this moment that I didn't, necessarily realize. And so it could be those very small things that kind of build up to the moment. And that goes in practice too, when we reach our new heights and our new success, is in those little tiny moments that breed those moments of success. So how this is a perfect analogy to kind of wrap that whole thing up. How like in class when we were younger, we used to get the easy problem. Everybody was doing it on the board, but then when you get the test, it looks nothing like that easy problem that everybody did on the board. That's how grad school is like, that's how like, when you're working on a project in class or you're working on something in class, you're guided, you have some of those tools. But when you're doing like your thesis, you're like, wait, hold on, this is completely different. Or you're working on your dissertation or something particularly for you, you're like, wait a second, this is different than what we did in class. This is not the same paper that we wrote in class. But sometimes it is, but it's at a different intensity, it's at a different level. So I'm learning how to maneuver that. So here's the story of when I first discovered my gray hair. I was in the bathroom, in my at-home bathroom, comfy, and I was washing my face, and I looked up, and lo and behold, a gray hair was staring back at me from the crown of my head. I know if you're watching this, you can see I have on a wig, so you can't see my gray hair. But if you're listening, I have on a wig, y'all. And yeah, like I thought it was a piece of hair coated with product. I'm like, okay, let me just put some water on it, see if it'll come out. It did not come out because it is a gray hair, honey. So yeah, I realized I had a gray hair, and I'm like, how could this be? And then I remember that I am so much more wiser today than I was then last year. So some of the things, and I'm committed to not having any more gray hair, so I wrote down my lessons and I'm sharing them with you so you don't get any more gray hairs. So we can be gray hairless together, But anyway, one of the lessons I've learned is to be vulnerable, and being vulnerable can help you get the help that you need. It is hard to be vulnerable, but sometimes the people around us may not know what we need, and sometimes I have to even attest to this, I don't even know what I need all the time, but I think that stems from me not wanting to be vulnerable with myself, and not wanting to take that moment with myself, to really ask myself what I need, and then I have to take that extra step to tell others what I need as well. So that's something that I'm actively working on, and something that we should do to make sure that we're getting the skills that we want and getting the things that we want out of our program. And I recognize that all programs may not be healthy in that way that you can openly talk to people in your department, and if that's the case, then I hope you find other resources and other people in different departments at different schools who you can reach out to. Like me, I can be a resource for you to help you, to connect you to the people in the field, or whatever study that you need. There's always a connection there, and it doesn't have to be just at your university. Focus on one specific task at a time, particularly if you tend to get off topic like I do. Focus on one particular task, and set timers. I was setting 90-minute timers. I switched to 25-minute timers, and then I take like a 5-minute breather, walk around, stretch, put my head on the desk, whatever I need to do for those 5 minutes to just kind of disconnect from the work for a little second, disengage from the work, and recalibrate your brain. So that's something that I do. Also, another key thing, realize the priority of the space. The priority of your department might not be the same as your personal priorities or your personal goals for your career. Example could be like, if you're interested and you prioritize community outreach, but your program doesn't see it as a priority, you're not getting the support that you need, that is something that you have to recognize, that the space might not find that as important, but that's something that's important for your career goals. So that's something you need to talk to your advisor about. Make sure that they know that what you prioritize, so that they can write highly about it when they're doing your yearly reviews or whatever it is that your department does. But you want to make sure that you have on record that even though you don't reflect the same priorities as the department, but that you're doing some work, and that you're doing work to further your career and to further the things that are of interest to you. And lastly, fail, try again, fail better. That is the best and greatest advice I've ever heard. That is the truest statement I've heard in my entire life, because you will try and you will fail, and you will try again and you will fail better, because you will have had more knowledge when you tried that second time, and that more knowledge is the thing that is going to help you to do a little bit better the next time. And you just keep trying. The successful people, they fall millions of times. You just never see them fall. You only see that 1 or 2 times they get up, because that's all you need to see to believe in success, but it is a journey. It takes time and it takes work. So just keep doing those things, even if it doesn't seem worthy, even if it doesn't seem like it's working out. Keep doing those small things. Those small things could be preparing you for so much greater that you can't even see right in this moment. And that's for me too. That's all of us. And so that's it, y'all. I love y'all, and I thank you for being a part of this journey with me. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Anything, I'm open. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or need any resources, or if you would like to be on the show. Definitely email me, DM me, do whatever, okay? I need you. So thank you all for listening. I love y'all. Have a great week. See y'all soon.
There's pink black girls in my area code, dark skin, light skin, medium tones.